Today is the first day of MomoCon.
We're here.
And to be honest, we've been waiting for this since last year, but it was an adventure to get here, but we finally got here. But
I'm just excited because last year blew balls, so
yeah,
this year I'm hoping it's going to be a lot better.
Their setup was not the best. They said it was because their Lorcana event was bigger than they expected.
Fuck Lorcana.
So then they had to push into the MomoCon space for Lorcana, but hopefully the setup is better, because the first year we came, the setup was
immaculate,
delicious, prime setup, prime use of space. But anyways, we're here. We're about to walk inside.
Still gotta wait in line for an hour to get our passes.
Hopefully it won't take an hour. Don't speak that into the universe. It's going to not be an hour.
As long as we can make it in time for Pokemon Bingo, I'll be okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna get inside, get our badges, and yeah, we'll see you inside. I touched on this a little bit, but 2024, the setup was extremely different. It felt like it was way deep in the exhibit hall and you had to walk significantly further. But this year it seemed like it was back to its normal setup. And this year we actually received physical itineraries, which I really liked, because sometimes, just relying on the app, I'm doing a bunch of other things on my phone, especially if someone is attempting to record. So I liked having the physical itinerary. However, it felt like with some things, like the app and the physical itinerary were different. And obviously I know that with events like these, that sometimes places of things can change. Stuff is very last minute and it will be different on the app, which can be updated versus this physical paper that cannot be. But it just kind of seemed a little difficult to read, but maybe that's just because I'm not good at reading them. The way the app is set up is that you kind of have a time frame, and then it just shows everything that's going on in the time frame. For this, it's kind of split up by your panels and events. So all of your Thursday panels are here, all of your Friday panels are here. Oh, it's split up by room. I see that now. That I'm looking at it. Well, anyways, it just kind of seemed a little hard to navigate, especially because sometimes it's just easier on the app to see if you find multiple things you want to do, but unfortunately they're happening at the same time. But having the physical copy on hand was nice, so it was kind of I don't know, it was nice to have both, to rely on both of them, if I'm being completely honest with you. But that's just me. I'm just one of those people who needs an itinerary. In the itineraries, you are provided a map. Multiple maps, actually. So you have your bus service map, your exhibit hall map, and more exhibit. Yeah, these were the panel activity rooms, and then you have this map up here. But the thing that bothered me was there were things happening in the rooms called the TM rooms, and they were nowhere to be found on this map. I think I eventually found it through the map on the iPhone app or the smartphone app. I can't remember, honestly. There was just so much happening that weekend. But yeah, the TM rooms were not on the map, and eventually I figured out that they were the rooms, the big rooms that when you open or when you enter the World Congress Center, on the main floor, there's a tiny escalator little area that you can go up to another upper floor, because usually everything else you go down, but for this you go up, and it's those rooms up there. And eventually I put the pieces together. But yeah, that was something that I found a little odd, that they didn't have the TM rooms on the map in the physical itinerary. And of course, it seems like every year there's always an escalator incident, whether they're just ridiculously packed, they don't seem like they're flowing in the way that makes sense, where there's two coming down and one going up when it's late at night and everyone's trying to leave. But this year's escalator mess was the fact that they were under construction. And not only were they under construction, it said that they were not going to be finished until 2027. Yeah, 2027, which means there's going to be another MomoCon next year where these escalators will continue to not be functioning, and possibly even the year after that. So, yeah, that'll be fun. Luckily, it wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it was, but luckily it wasn't. We kind of lucked out with that. So excited. That looks so crazy.
You look how it's fun.
Okay, well, anyways, we finally got our badges. It did not take long at all. He lied. It did not take an hour.
Okay, listen, normally it does, especially getting here at 1 o'clock right before it starts.
Yeah, but anyways, the main floor downstairs doesn't open until 2, and it's 1:15, so we still have 45 minutes. That's 45 minutes?
Yes.
Yes, we still have 45 minutes until it opens. And none of our friends are here yet either. So it's just us. But yeah.
Lame.
Yeah, they suck. They're lame. Yeah, anyways, so anything else to announce?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah. Just got yelled at for being outside. Yep, we're going back inside. The AC does feel nice though.
Yeah, now I got my shirt back on.
I want to add the premise, the meme of the mouse. Given by the studio.
I want a cigarette.
Like, I know there's like a thread of like Reddit.
But anyway,
like,
I wanted to do this so I could add the meme of that mouse
video
eating
game.
it by
That sounds like
itself.
what that would be.
Tomorrow I'm going to the history of
I don't know if I get that.
Are you interested? To me, my X-Men 97. It's like this fat little like claymation mouse. Big animated series. There's now the new X-Men 97.
This wall is not comfortable. I can scratch my back on it well though.
Like a bear.
I needed it too. The zoo. Love that.
I love those places.
I was thinking of both.
I look so jacked.
I'm gonna save this area for last. I'm gonna have them burn on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Honestly. I was choking on that thing.
Yeah.
My ankle really hurts.
Huh?
My ankle hurts.
Your ankle really hurts. Why does your ankle hurt?
Because I banged it on the side of the scooter, and then it was the same ankle that buckled underneath me when I fell.
That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
I didn't say that, but I busted my ass. And someone, of course there was one singular other person walking, and he was behind us. And I almost got away with it because you didn't see me fall.
No, I had no clue.
We had no idea that I fell. And this random dude was walking behind us. He goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, I want to kill myself now." We're doing Pokemon bingo.
We made it.
We made it, but nobody else did.
The hoes stayed home.
Yeah, we don't know where any of our other friends are, but we made it to Pokemon bingo. So
Dang.
yeah, and then probably after this is probably when we'll go to the exhibit hall. Cause this started at 2:30, but the hall opened at 2.
If they don't have flash beats, I'm gonna blow my brains out.
No. But yeah, so we're probably gonna go to the exhibit hall.
I don't have any.
Cloister.
I got shoulder.
Weeping Bell.
Damn it. I have Bellsprout.
Golduck.
Okay,
Oh man, no.
I have Psyduck. I literally have all the Evo down.
How far are we gonna go here? Magikarp.
Come on, give me one up. I gotta go to do this.
Rapidash.
I ain't got him either.
Marowak.
I don't have him either.
Psyduck.
I have him. Woo! Dude, Gary doesn't
Zapdos.
I don't have Zapdos. Dude,
I'm
Gary
one
does.
away. Imagine if I got bingo.
You're one
before you.
away?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Zubat.
I have him. I got Zubat.
I need Bellsprout. Notice how I just said I needed Bellsprout? Yeah, fun fact, that Pokemon was never called all game.
Well, she didn't call all the bells earlier.
Arcanine.
I have Arcanine. Let's go.
Dratini.
I don't have Dratini.
I'm going away. I'm going away.
Chansey.
I have Chansey.
Oh, someone's got a bingo. All right, if you want to bring your card up here, I will check it for you.
I was
I'm
run
close.
away. I was run away. On our way to find a hose.
We suck at bingo.
Dude, I swear to God that bingo was rigged.
It was, dude. No Moltres, no Sandshrew, and
Bellsprout.
and no Bellsprout.
Was
We
never
had
called
Weeping
once.
Bell, Victoring Bell. Actually, those
They
are the only
kept
two bells.
calling
But
the
still,
same stuff over and over again.
yeah, if she could actually shake the box with her hands instead of just wow, 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 mixing it up, maybe we would have had a chance. But it's okay.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It
We tried
is
our
what
best.
it is. But the hoes are imminent.
the hoes are imminent. We just have to find them.
There they are.
What? Where do you see them? Oh, yeah, there they are. We have located the hose. The hose.
Hey, what's up?
That sucks.
Sorry, you checking the Fox, dude?
There's a roller rink. What do you think about the roller rink?
Little bitch made.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks lame as freak. Okay, to be honest, I don't know if you can hear me right now because there's so much music blasting, but I'm so tired. My feet hurt, my ankles hurt. But I did find this. There's this place here called Canned Cakes, and they have like different cakes in like soda cans. They're so good, and they had gluten-free ones. They had Japanese cheesecake. I bought two, so I'm probably about to eat them because I'm also starving and have a major sweet tooth. So yeah, but yeah, no, it's been fun. Lots of people, lots of walking. But yeah, that's kind of just my current update. Not much to update without my friends around. They're currently signing waivers and stuff for VR. I don't play VR, it makes me nauseous. But yeah. Day 2 of MomoCon, we went to the Damien Haas Q&A, and yes, you heard me right. Damien Haas, the Damien, you may know him from Smosh, you may know him from his voice acting, you may know him from Disney Channel. But yes, he was at MomoCon. He had his own solo Q&A panel, and we went to that. The line wrapped around the floor. It was honestly really crazy. It was so funny to see the workers like being like, "Oh, who is this Damien guy? We didn't realize he was this popular." We finally make it inside. It's just me, Ruben, and Maddie. And I'm thinking that we're going to have great seats because we're in the front row. Wrong, our seats were doo-doo butt cheeks. There was a huge computer monitors set up to where the person was doing the Q&As. We could not actually see Damien at all. Luckily, there was this big screen in front of us that we were able to look at. But yeah, that kind of sucked. I thought we were going to have good seats and we didn't at all. But there is a funny story. We were sitting right in front of the area where Damien walked out in front of, and you could see these little slits in the like black sheet things that they have. And I noticed that there was someone standing there, and I was like, it would be so funny if that's him. And Maddie's like making jokes about like ridiculous questions that people could ask. And Maddie jokingly in her goofy voice is like, how much Ian Anthony fan fiction have you read? And you know, we bust out laughing because we know it's like absolutely ridiculous. It even makes the people next to us laugh. But then when Damien walks out on the stage, we look at each other and we're like, what are the odds that he heard that? Later on during the night, we were just kind of walking around the exhibit hall, going between where the artist alley and the board game area was. And our group was randomly approached by this lady, and she was like, "Hey, do you guys play Marvel Rivals?" We were like, yeah. And then she said that the company that she was working with was hosting a Marvel Rivals tournament, and she just randomly asked us if we wanted to join. Luckily, we had a group of 8 people. I did not play because I had not played the game for like months just because it ran so poorly on my PC, which good news, that's fixed now. Wink wink. And there was another person there who was a friend of our friend. But we had a full 6 stack, we had a full team, and they played in this tournament and they were like, "You know what? It's fine. It's something to do." Um they won the tournament?
In the middle of his head. She's dead, she died.
Holy shit! Let's go!
Is that it? Is that it? Is that it?
I'm pretty certain that's it.
Let me sit respectfully. Let me sit respectfully.
It was BO3 on the format, so.
Go round. Go round. Go round.
Was that?
Holy crap.
Go round. Go round.
I like how,
Go round. Dion.
Yeah, is that it?
Is that it? Is that it? Is that it?
Thank you everybody for playing. Winning team, you guys come with me. We're going over to
Dude. Oh yeah, and also, fun fact, the guy who is the voice actor for Jeff the Land Shark from the game was with the tournament. How did nobody know about this? Eventually, after they won, it was funny because we were kind of just standing there and we were like, "Was that it? Was that it?" And we were like, "Yep, you guys won." And we were all like, "Yay!" But anyways, afterwards, the guy who voices Jeff, he got to pick an MVP. He chose Corbin and he signed an I-9. Yeah, we had no idea that this stuff was like included. And they got these extra mats and stuff that were really cool. They were sponsored by again, another gift from the company that was working with them. We got signed oh shit, it's upside down. We got signed posters. Well, technically this is Ruben's, but since we share an office, he gave it to me for safekeeping. So we're gonna frame this, probably hang it up somewhere on the wall, maybe on my side, since he got to play in the tournament. I get to keep the autographed picture. I'm just kidding. If he wants it, he can have it. But yeah, that was pretty sick. Just randomly approached out of nowhere and then turning it to winning a Marvel Rivals tournament. Later in the night, we found out while this tournament was going on that the building had actually been evacuated on the main floor. At the time, we had no idea why it had been evacuated. Later on in the night, we saw some Reddit posts and Facebook posts, and we heard these rumors. Nothing was confirmed by MomoCon themselves. The only thing that they would say is that it was a medical emergency day 3. Honestly, these next 2 days, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of footage for, and that's simply just because I was completely overwhelmed by the crowds and whatnot. So if you see some footage repeat, I'm sorry. I just needed space fillers. Forgive me. If I do this again next year, I promise I'll be better about it. At the beginning of the day, my friends entered a free entry Neopets competition, or not competition. What would you even call it? I guess it would be a tournament as well. I don't know. It was free entry. They got free decks. They're making a TCG from Neopets. So yeah, that was cool. We learned about it. I personally didn't want to play because, one, I don't know a lot about TCGs. I'm not very good at them. And there were a limited number of spots, and I just didn't want to take a spot from someone who genuinely wanted to play the game. So I just sat on the floor and ate my Jersey Mike's. This was the day when I finally figured out what the TM rooms were, and they were actually hosting a panel from the voices of Mom and Dad and Bluey. So that was pretty cool. We popped by in there for a few minutes. And later on in that same room, we went to the Delicious in Dungeon panel, which, again, I was interested in because of Damien, and Ruben was interested in because he actually watched the show. Which, fun fact, I had not seen or known anything about this show before this panel happened, and while Ruben and I were waiting, we're in a front row on the left side, and we're actively watching the first episode. So that way I can get a grasp of what this show is, so that way I can understand some things that's being talked about in this panel. Which, by the way, loved the panel, made me want to keep watching the show. I'm currently on episode 17. So yeah, highly recommend the show. It's great. This was also the day of the cosplay contest. Man. As a viewer, an audience member of the cosplay contest, it was a mess. It was horrible. It did not feel very organized. When we were first lining up, we were just kind of, they did the best they could with the space that they had, but it was extremely hot. Luckily, I had a fan in my backpack. I was, fanning my friends. Cade literally looked like he was gonna pass out. I'm trying to keep air moving, or keep cold air cooling on my friends' faces. And once they finally got us all seated for the cosplay contest, they actually started the awards for the car show. And when they started doing this, all of the audience members are kind of looking around at each other. They're like, what's going on? I thought this was the cosplay contest. Why are they talking about the car awards? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, the car show is cool, but we're there for the cosplay contest. What's going on? And I think that lasted for maybe about somewhere between 15 and 30 minutes. And finally, the cosplay contest started. And let me tell you, I am not the person who consumes the most anime, video game content. I don't consume a lot of that, but some of the things and the pronunciation that these hosts were doing, they couldn't even pronounce Hatsune Miku. Brother, she's in Fortnite. What? How are you going to be a host and not even know how to pronounce the names of some of the most mainstream, well-known characters in this world right now? Not even outside of this world. They're, like I said, she's in Fortnite. The outside world knows about her. The normies know about her. Another thing that I learned that makes this even worse is that apparently the participants in this contest, when you're filling out your sheet or whatever they had to fill out, there was a pronunciation guide. So the host had these guides for how to pronounce these characters' names, and they still fucked them up. It was unbelievable how bad it was, to be completely honest with you. I don't want to dog on them too much, because if it were me, I probably would not have done any better. Maybe a little bit with the names. But, it's stressful. It's, it's filled with anxiety. I get it. But still, it's gee, come on. You're hosting an event. I don't know. Maybe let's know what we're hosting for. It's ridiculous. Especially for an event as big as MomoCon. Just as a paying person who goes to this event and who doesn't even participate in cosplay, people spend so much time, so much effort, so much money into these cosplays, and I feel like it's not a lot to ask just to make the contest more organized and just, give these people a good time and make it worth their time. But that's just me. Day 4 of MomoCon, I literally have 0 footage from this day, because let me tell you, it was something else. So we get there super early. We want to walk around the artist alley just because it's the last day. Ruben buys a couple things. I don't remember if I bought anything. Anyways, we bought a few things. I say we because we kind of split the purchase of one thing. But anyways, there is a Pokemon tournament. Woo, Pokemon, let's go. While we're walking around Artist Alley, I think we maybe have 15 minutes until the Pokemon tournament is supposed to start. And we find out that Ruben is supposed to register his deck, which is something that is very time consuming. So we find a table, we spread out, he does his thing. He's about halfway through, page refreshes, he loses everything. He's frustrated, I'm frustrated, I'm freezing cold because for whatever reason the arcade area is, the AC is blasting, but in the artist alley area, it's like it's not on at all. So I'm freezing. We finally make our way over to where the Pokemon tournament thing is supposed to be. Luckily, he can still play, and also, he is paired up with Cade, so it's not that big of a deal with him being late. Which, by the way, there was still 18 minutes left, roughly, give or take, in this round. Keep in mind, keep that in mind. I promise it's important. At the end of the round, Cade and Ruben agreed to come to a draw. So they kind of trying to figure out what to put in for the app because some apps have a draw button, some count them as a win for each person, some count them as a loss for each person. So we're simply just trying to get clarification about what we should do in this situation. And the guy, just complete attitude, just keeps saying the same things, repeating himself over and over again. It's like, buddy, if you're having to repeat the same words over and over again, your words don't make sense. Rephrase them. Sorry, I had a moment there. Can you tell I'm holding in a lot of this rage? And it gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. After all of this happens, he kind of turns to some people and he makes this snide comment. He's like, that's what happens when you only have 7 minutes left. Oh, and by the way, while they're hosting this Pokemon tournament, there's already 1 or 2 other tournaments happening in the same area. So these people, they're running around. They're busy. You know, brother is stressed. And it's obvious because he has a fucking attitude with everybody and I'm over it. So they just decide to start a 4th, that's the right number, a 4th tournament for One Piece. And there's stragglers sitting at the table, and the guy really gets an attitude and is telling them to move. It's like, well, brother, we don't have to do all that, but apparently we are. Round 3 comes along, and Ruben gets paired up with someone else. His opponent ends up winning, and he's actually one of the last people to finish. So the guy comes up to them, and mind you, he's standing right next to me. This area is so loud, and I can't even completely hear what he's saying. So he comes up to them, and he goes, so who won? Ruben's opponent goes, I won. The guy says something. I have no idea what he says. And he repeats himself like 3 or 4 times. And eventually I understand him, and he's replying with, I don't have an I won. He said that at least 3 or 4 times. Brother, if the joke ain't hitting, it's time to move on. Okay? But eventually the guy gives his name and we kind of move on. And Ruben and Maddie, and I don't remember if anybody else is done at this point, but they're done. They drop, and Ruben goes up to the guy himself, who has been a bitch to everyone, all around, to be completely honest with you. He goes up to the guy himself, and he says, hey, I'm dropping for the tournament. And half the reason why I'm doing it is because you're being an asshole. And he just walks away. And we're all just like, oh my god, he did the thing. He did the thing. But since it was the last day, there wasn't really much going on after that. So Ruben called the guy an asshole and we bounced. That was pretty much the con this year for us. Should I do some sort of outro? I don't know. If I do, I'll add it later.